I gotta say this. Tyra Banks, I mean, I don't know who's watching that show. I don't know if she's getting any ratings, but Jesus Christ, that chick is a peckerhead and a half.
What did she do?
I mean, she is the classic example of...
a lot of opinion.
Yeah, like a hot chick who just probably gets indulged way too much by people.
Oh, yeah, she's the greatest person on earth to everyone around her.
She did a show on phobias. People overcoming their fears. And it turns out her fear is the fear of dolphins.
You know what? When you said that, I said, "Oh, did she discover she had her own phobia?"
Yeah, well, she...
Dolphins.
Now, when does she encounter dolphins?
So you got to hear these clips. Well, that's the exact point I made. When you listen to this, you go, like, why would you ever need to confront this fear? Like, I have a fear of being eaten by a shark, okay? Like, I have a million fears.
Sure, I think we all have that one.
But a realistic fear to conquer is I'm afraid to fly, let's say. That would be a realistic fear.
Right, I'm afraid to go outside.
Right. I'm afraid to leave the house.
Does she mean she dated some of the football team, the Dolphins?
No, I wish. So you gotta listen to this stuff because it's so great if you missed it on TV, which I'm sure you did because you're a normal human being, and why would you bother watching that bitch when you know we'll monitor the show for you? But let me see something. Where'd I put it? Hold on. Tyra Banks, JD page. We got like friggin' 900 pages here, but I gotta play this for you. Okay. Tyra Banks, you ready? Mm-hmm. This is an intro, and she cries through most of it.
When she talks about dolphins.
Yeah, this is the greatest thing. I got to play this for you. It's going to take some time, but you got to hear it.
Today, my guests and I are coming face to face with our fears and phobias. Now, some of the fears that you're going to hear today may sound funny to some people, but trust me, from my guests and from me too, the fear that we feel is absolute terror. Now, people may laugh at my fear. My fear is dolphins. And you think a dolphin is sweet, it's cuddly, but to me, they're not. And I feel anxiety and I feel panic whenever I'm confronting or even thinking about or talking about a dolphin. It's happening right now. And I went to SeaWorld to try to conquer my fear, and here's a little preview.
Why would you spend a second of your day thinking about dolphins?
Oh, that's the best show ever.
Confronted with dolphins.
Yeah, like okay, you have a fear. Granted, you have this weird fear of dolphins. Don't go near any.
What in the fuck is she talking about?
You're crossing the street one day, and there's a dolphin.
I mean, it's just, we keep making the same point over and over again because it's just so loony. All right, so then now Tyra Banks, because she's completely out of touch with reality, says before she can go to SeaWorld and confront the dolphins, she has to go to a spa to relax, which pisses you off even more because now she has the time in her day to go to a spa and relax before meeting dolphins.
Yeah, that's going to help you with your phobia.
Probably the best spa in California.
Right now I'm at the L'Auberge Del Mar Resort and Spa, and I came here a couple of days early because I needed to relax. I needed to kind of meditate because I really do have a true fear of dolphins, and I know I'm conquering that today, but I just couldn't just arrive today and just jump straight in because that would freak me out. So I've been relaxing here.
So, like, I'm probably afraid of dolphins, I guess. Like, I wouldn't want to confront one in the water, but I just don't I don't go in the water where there's dolphins.
They're kind of getting into it, and I'm ready.
All right, so now, Tyra Banks...
She got to get in a car to travel to confront her fear.
Yeah, travel, get on a boat, go find them.
So they say to her, well, why do you have such a fear of dolphins? And I don't even think she can explain it because it's bizarre.
It's the lie is what it is.
I'm not exactly sure when my fear of dolphins started. I can remember far back, to elementary school, being a young girl and having these recurring dreams where I'd be in a swimming pool.
Now, the reason they're drowning her out with music is because she's such an idiot.
They don't want you to figure out.
That's right.
And the whales, dolphins would be surrounding me and not even attacking me, but they would be bumping me with their nose and bumping me with their nose. And I couldn't wake up, and it was like the weirdest, scariest nightmare for me.
Just let her talk. That's so entertaining. Why would they play music?
That is the greatest. She had a dream.
Now it's time for her to confront her fears, and she starts to cry. This is Tyra Banks.
Happening?
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
crazy.
Try to stay positive. Okay.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Okay.
You're going to walk away here with a respect and appreciation. It's going to be great. Okay?
I knew one day I had to face my fear of dolphins, but it's a struggle I've dealt with almost my whole life.
How great if she's eaten.
And I needed a lot of courage to...
Like, isn't her fear also of sharks? Why doesn't she confront that?
If you don't mind them.
Like,
How about lions and tigers? Aren't you afraid of them?
Yeah, like, isn't her fear also being shot by a gun? So why don't they just shoot her?
Right.
Let her confront that, too.
I'm afraid of the ocean.
How you doing? I'm one of the trainers here. Oh, don't worry.
I'm scared. A lot of people have strange fears, and I think it's important to try to get past those fears or understand where they come from.
Yeah, fears that affect your life, not fear of dolphins.
What did she not do because of her fear of dolphins?
That hasn't affected her. Unless you want to be a dolphin trainer, there's really no reason to overcome your fear of dolphins.
I'm terrified of the Australian bush spider.
Has it affected her modeling career in some way?
So they play back the tape piece of her confronting her fear of dolphins, and she starts to break down on the set.
Oh, that's so great.
That's why I'm like...
Wait, hold on.
I didn't want to do this.
She's mental.
Yeah, I
know it seems weird and it might seem crazy, but watching that brings it back. And I teared up a little bit, you know, right before I was going to walk out. But there were so many people watching and, you know, some people that were SeaWorld, you know, people just visiting SeaWorld and tourists. So I was trying to stay stronger, but I think I feel a little bit safer here, so that's why it's really coming. But you'll see if I conquered my fear of dolphins later in the show. And, you know, this show is really serious to me today. And I feel actually very foolish tearing up about this.
Sounds like she was raped by a dolphin.
Yeah, what did these dolphins do to her?
Yeah, and where is she encountering them?
You know, it's embarrassing for me.
No, it's not.
And I don't know where my fear comes from. And my guests today don't know where their fears come from. But
are they as loony?
Today we're going to try to find...
They have a girl on there who has a fear of pennies.
Oh, my goodness.
They should have just taken 200 dolphins and filled that studio with them.
Oh, yeah, it's like high pitches fear of fish.
Right, yeah.
And hopefully, you know, take those steps to healing my fear and my guest's fear.
Here's the chick who's...
Stop it.
Here's the chick who's afraid of pennies just because...
Right. And Christina, your fear is not a fear that's a very common one. Tell us what you are afraid of.
My biggest fear is pennies. And
like pennies, like quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies. Tell me about that.
It's just a problem with everything. It causes a problem in my relationship with my boyfriend because we constantly fight because he just sees it as just a penny and it's something serious to me.
Do people tease you? Because I can imagine, you know, my friends tease me about the dolphins and make dolphins.
Where's that Who Gives a Shit channel?
Oh, yeah, because we got full programming.
Noises and people tease you about the pennies?
Yes.
They do? What do they do?
Like, my best friend, she'll, like, always come and she'll put a penny in my face and she'll throw it on the floor and I'll go in the room and...
What if she's afraid of Abe Lincoln and not a penny? Maybe that's what it is.
She'll stand at the door and she'll laugh.
She'll laugh about me with the penny. You know, the first thing I thought when I heard your story, I was thinking... Is she scared of, like, pennies represent, like, cheap? It represents, like, not a lot of money. It's like, is she scared of maybe being poor one day? Or?
No, it's just
just the physical thing of the penny.
I don't know if it's the color because quarters or dimes or nickels don't bother me. So maybe it might just be the color.
Copper.
Yes.
It's the color of duty. And I'm afraid of a big duty. Then there was another chick who was afraid of birds, but... You know.
At least they're around.
Yeah, well, that's not so awful.
Tyra Banks, man. Isn't that a pisser? I had to play that for you. Listen, we got a big agenda. Not only is the Ronnie the limo driver roast with 11...